Welcome, and I'm really just going to be giving you an overview of this application. It is fairly robust in what it is able to do. I think a lot of you will be able to benefit from the application, especially when it comes to sharing institutional knowledge within your own departments. So let me go ahead and get us going here. Today's agenda, we're going to talk about essentially what is MS Stream, how can I use it, where can I find it, how to navigate the homepage for MS Stream, understanding and creating groups and channels, uploading existing content, discover other videos, channels, and groups that might already be out there that are company-wide and accessible. And then lastly, how to record and screen capture new content, because that's actually what Stream is really for. It's a housing tool. So probably many of you at some point have utilized YouTube, and the way I look at Stream is kind of like the corporate YouTube, if you will. It is really a secure way for us to upload and record and share videos, house videos. You know, there might be some YouTube corporate channels here, but not everybody has access to them. It might be something that only folks within our communications groups has access to. So really Stream is great for everyday user, and that's really kind of the intent behind it. Anybody that has a network login, like a username and password to get in, will have access to Stream. So I would encourage you to go out and look for the application. If you have time after today's class, or just at some other point over the next week or so, to go out and just see what it's all about. Again, we're just getting really a flavor of it today. How can I use it? There's a lot of ways you can record it. I already mentioned sort of the institutional knowledge sharing, but also you have the ability to record classes, meetings, training sessions, things that you may already be, that you may already have. You have the ability to upload that into this, this sort of video service, if you will. The institutional knowledge, I look at this as really one of the main benefits of using Stream. So a lot of you realize that over the past maybe 2.5 years now, when COVID came on, a lot of people, they made some important life decisions. They may have left the company. It was potentially somebody in your department even that had a whole lot of knowledge, or maybe they're just retiring. They've reached the end of their working career and they're retiring. But like most companies, we can be running short-staffed on occasion, and it is very difficult to find time to sit down and capture that institutional knowledge on how those folks, whether it was navigating systems, updating project plans, whatever it may be that they really knew and they were kind of the go-to person in the department. We didn't really have a great way or even really a lot of time to capture that information. And in many cases, they may have left before we even had that opportunity. So now you're sort of having to learn on the fly, if you will. So this tool, what I like about it is it's a low barrier to entry as far as just recording that information. It doesn't even necessarily have to be perfect. You have the opportunity to keep it, the videos don't have to be perfect. They can just be secure within your own groups. So they're not company-wide. Everybody can't see it and, judgmental Judy it, so to speak. But it is really a great tool, and I think that you'll find out that there's many uses for it today. Where can I find it? It is located in our MTA My Apps. Excuse me. So I did put the link here. On the next slide, though, you'll see for anybody that's actually gone into the MTA My Apps, you notice that there are many applications that we have access to as a part of, whether it's through Office 365 or just even agency-specific applications or MTA-specific applications. So for the purpose of this class, of course, I put Stream up in the top left-hand corner of my slide here. But clearly, you may have to scroll down through the list in order to find Stream. I know we all have a lot of different ways which we go in and access those Office 365 applications. So by no means am I saying this is the only way to access it. It's just a way. It's a fairly easy way to go in there and access it. So navigating the homepage, like most applications with Office 365, you end up landing on what I consider to be either a homepage or a dashboard of some sort that has a lot of opportunity for you to navigate, move around, figure out what you need to do. But sometimes it can be confusing. So we're going to talk a little bit about what that homepage looks like today. We're going to talk about, again, understanding and creating groups and channels. So essentially, groups and channels, it's really a way to just structure and organize your content. That's essentially what that is. So obviously, if you just went out and started creating or uploading a bunch of videos to put on a stream, and then every time you needed to find something, you had to scroll through, 20 or 30 different videos, that's not really very convenient for you. I think of it, the equivalency of when you go to find a picture in your phone and you're like, I know I just took that picture. And then you're scrolling through every picture to find it. So groups and channels helps you sort of avoid that. You don't have to do all of that scrolling around. You can actually just look specifically for your groups or your channels that you've created, and then any videos that you're going to file up under those groups or those channels. Company-wide versus group specific, or rather group specific, we'll talk about and we'll kind of see it in action, what that means. There are opportunities to create company-wide channels. I'm sure at some point MTA IT will come in and say, here are now the rules and regulations for who can create company-wide channels. However, at this point, it is open. So I would caution you before you go out and just start creating a bunch of channels, especially if you have content that you really don't want shared with everybody that has a user network or a user ID and password for the network. So definitely be mindful of that. Groups, Microsoft has sort of a different way of identifying really a group, a team, etc. They're all kind of the same thing, but they use the name differently depending on the Office 365 application that you are using. So for the purpose of Stream, they do refer to it as a group. However, you can sort of think of this in the same vein if you're using MS Teams as it's a team, right? So for me, I have a team of trainers. And of course, if I created a group in Stream, it would be specifically for my group, my manager, and my trainers. Uploading existing content, again, you do have the opportunity to upload videos that already exist. So we have a wide variety of people that are on the call today and a wide variety of people that may watch this recording outside of today's session. So things that you should know is some of us have access to specific groups within our agencies that maybe their job is to record videos. For example, I work with someone who does a lot of video recording for Eastside Access or Grand Central Madison. So he does all of that recording and just basically gives us a final product, which is great. It means I don't have to create the video and Stream, I just upload it. Several of you might use tools like Camtasia. Again, all ways that you can capture videos. You can still upload all of those into your Stream account, and it's okay. And then additionally, when navigating the homepage, we'll talk about what it means to discover other videos, channels, and groups. So again, there are some existing company-wide channels today. I think CND was pretty heavy on utilizing Stream right away, putting information, again, sort of institutional knowledge out there for their employees to look at and review. So there is opportunity to go and do that today. I'm going to actually switch gears from what I'm sharing right now. So I am sharing a PowerPoint with you, and I'm going to go into the system at this point because I want to walk you through what it looks like and how to access some of this information. Before I switch over, I just want to say, if you do have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I will probably not get a chance to get to the chat until we get to the end of today's session. And so please don't think I'm ignoring you. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm sharing everything, and then also I can get to those questions at the very end. If I don't get your question answered today, I will do a follow-up. I will send an email out to everyone that has attended, so that way your questions do get answered. So let me go ahead and stop sharing this screen. So again, I told you there's multiple ways to navigate to Stream. I'm just going to show you one singular way to get there today. If you have other options, those are certainly acceptable as well. So if you're on MTA today, MTA IT has put a little quick link down in the bottom right-hand corner. It's called MTA My Apps. Several of you may have used this already. You'll notice that when it loads up, it first sort of drops us onto the timekeeping sites because a lot of us use those, obviously Kronos, but you're going to navigate to the second tab, which is titled Apps. And again, for today, I went ahead and moved Stream up to the right or to the left top hand corner. You, when you get here, may have to scroll through your list and actually locate where Stream is at. So I'm going to click on this. And this is what I refer to as the home page. So from here, there is a lot of information. It's easy to make a couple of what I call boo-boos. So I'm going to just point out a couple of things. The first thing you see here in black across the very top, that's just sort of like a rotating carousel of, it could be highlighted videos, it could be anything, but it's essentially Stream as it exists within sort of the MTA structure. Below that is learn how to use Microsoft Stream. So of course, this is just getting a flavor of Stream, but certainly Microsoft has done a great job of ensuring that there's content, videos, etc., to help get you started. So those are all resources that you have accessible to you. One thing you'll notice next to where it says learn how to use Microsoft Stream is the don't show me this again. I would encourage you to not click on that, especially the first few times that you go into Teams. When you click on that, it will never show this row of 4 boxes again. So I would encourage you to just leave it there. Even if you think you know everything about Stream at this point, again, I would leave it there because inevitably you might need to have a refresher. And these are great resources. It talks to you about how to create a live event, how to upload content, which again, I'm going to talk about today, how to find content, channels and groups. So I would just leave that there. Then as you scroll down, you'll see a few other things. So if there's any trending videos, any sort of popular, what they call channels that are out there, you'll see a few on here, such as Metro North has a channel out here. Then you have this EAM Learning, On Demand Technical, which MTA C&D has put out there, that has a whole lot of videos covering architecture, mechanical engineering, etc. So the very top left-hand corner here, there's a few pieces to navigate through. The homepage just keeps bringing you right back to this exact homepage that I'm on right now. Discover, and you'll see it has a little drop-down arrow. You can discover maybe videos that others have created that they have either shared with you or that are company-wide. You can see other channels people have created. People is just if you know a particular person and you're like, yeah, I know they created a Stream channel or a Stream video. Let me just go navigate to who they are, and then it'll show me everything they've created. And then other groups, of course, are out there as well. The My Content also has a little drop-down arrow. This is really just everything that you pretty much have created. So it's all stuff that is under your umbrella. So videos that maybe you've created, groups that you've created, channels, meetings, if you've done any sort of like recording meetings, watch list, if you've favorited anything and put it on a watch list for you to come back to, any channels that you follow, etc. And then you have create. So this is really where we want to focus today. So the create, if you remember, I said there's a few things you can do on here. Obviously, you can upload existing videos, which we'll come back to. We're not necessarily going to talk about the live event today. However, it may be useful for you. And at some point, we may create a short segment video to put out on our MTA University website that covers how to go about creating a live event, when to use it, etc. And then you see here the last few ones, group, channel, and record, screen, or video. So the record, screen, or video we're going to do at the tail end of this. First thing I want to go into is the group or the channel, so you get a really good sense of that. So first thing, I'll just go in and create just a channel. Now, again, I told you, channel could be company-wide. This is not necessarily, that I'm creating it for any particular group. It's just out there. So I'll put on here that this is test channel number 1 for training. Put that out there. I can put a description. This is for recording purposes. Whatever you may want to put out there. This is a channel so you can come and watch maybe safety videos. This is a channel where you can come and learn more about enterprise asset management. Again, whatever your needs may be. And then you have here, it says for channel access. If you don't know what these things are, again, thankfully, Microsoft does build in sort of these dummy proof things where you can look at. So the information, it says select company-wide channel, and anyone can add and watch videos. So you would want to be careful about that, because if you do put that it's company-wide, anybody that has access could go in and add videos to the channel, remove, watch, whatever you want to do. Or choose group channel if you want to give access only to a specific group, like a department or a team. So let's just say for, today, I'm just creating a company-wide channel, meaning I don't really care who in this entity is going to come and add to this. Maybe it's almost like a company-wide sharing ideas, right? Type of a channel. So anybody can come in here and share their idea. So again, I can come in here, put a particular image if I wanted to. This is like any standard Microsoft product. You just click on it, you go into whatever your files, pictures, etc. are, and you add that. I'm just going to repeat what I said in the beginning. I would caution you against setting up these company-wide channels. I'm sure at some point MTA IT will come back and say, not everybody has the access to do this. Only specific areas have access to do this. So if you're just testing this out and you're just putting a toe in the water with Microsoft Stream, I would encourage you to specifically put this under groups. So again, just letting you know. And I'll just go ahead and add a general image in here. Let's see if I've got anything. Go to my default Moynihan Train Hall image. Just hit create. And now right here, you see this is my test channel. I can go in, drag and drop videos in here, edit the order in which the videos are there. Essentially, there's quite a bit that I can do here. But again, it's just a generic channel. So if I want to go into my content, click on my channels, I can see everything that I personally have created. You'll see that I have a few other things in here, but this is really just some defaults of what I have created. If I want to go into that one that I just created, again, it's going to take me right back to that page that you just saw I was on. Okay. Up in the very top right-hand corner, and sometimes this is hard to see, so I just want to let you know that it is there, because in case you're not accustomed to dragging and dropping files, there is the button to just simply upload. You would click upload, and then it would walk you through the same process of finding it wherever it's stored in your files and then dropping it here into your channel. So that's just the company-wide one. I'm going to go back in here and I'm actually going to create a group, and then I'm going to create channels within that group. So I want to give you a scenario. I told you that I handle training within the people department. I work specifically within the ODD group, and I manage staff that some of them do professional development training, some of them do computer-based training. So in my group, or my team, if you will, I might want to just have videos that are just specific for those two sections. So let me go in and create the group first. I'll put in here, oh, you know what? It's going to make me log in again. I apologize. I've been working on Stream all morning and it tried to kick me out there for a second. There we go. Let me come back in here. Now I'm going to create a group. And we'll say this is Lisa's team. Okay. And I'll put in the description, this is our collaborative space to upload and share our training videos. Okay. Notice there is the default settings that's set to private, again, because I'm creating a group. And then here under edit, if I click on edit, this is where I can determine, again, if this is public, anyone in your organization can see what's inside of this, or it's private and only approved members can see what's inside. For my intent today, I'm just going to say I only want my team to see this. There's also a little tiny button here, and most people at this point, because we get a little click happy, we would click past this, but it says allow all members to contribute. So if you are creating something that you really just want to be informational in nature and you don't really want folks adding to it other than yourself, I would remove the check mark. if you want to create the team because you want the ability for other members of your team or your group to add, maybe they can add channels in your group, maybe they can add videos to those specific channels, then just leave this check mark. So if you do remove the check mark, it does remove their ability to add or contribute to the group that you've just created. So I will hit create. And today I'm going to go ahead and just add my boss on here. Similar to if you've created a team, again, in Microsoft Teams, you have this ability to choose who's going to be an owner, who's going to be a member. And you know what? I'll go ahead and add my director on here as well. So we'll put her on here. And let's say I want to actually make her an owner and my boss just a member, right? Or maybe I wanted the people that report to me to just be members and not actually owners, meaning they don't have the same flexibility that I have. So I'll hit add. They would then at some point get an email from Microsoft that would let them know that they've been added to this team or this group so that they have access to it. You see here at the top, it does say this is private. So again, I don't have to worry about somebody else coming in here. And now, like I said, my team, I have some people that teach computer training, some people that teach our professional development training. So I look here and I'm thinking, well, I don't want all those videos just dumped into one section here. What I really want is to segment this. And when I click on channels here in the middle, it'll tell me, yep, you don't have any channels yet. Go ahead and create a new one. So I'll create the new channel. And in this one, I'll just put, this is Lisa's team PD training. Okay. Please upload all PD videos here. And you see where it says channel access, it was defaulted to group channel, and it specifically says Lisa's team because I'm already in the group when I created the channel. If you are on your home page when you go to create this channel, if you saw when I was creating the company-wide channel, if I selected group, it would then force me to choose a group that I wanted to allocate that channel to. So just kind of keep that in mind, why it looks slightly different than when I was originally just creating a channel. And again, if I want to come in here, add an image, let's just say I want to put an image of myself for right now, because that's what I have. And I'll hit create. It now has, again, I've created the group. So that's really this bubble, the whole page here. That's my group. And then I've got at least one channel. I'm going to go ahead and create a second channel just so you kind of understand the concept. So I'll put in here Lisa's team's technical training. Okay, and I'll just put, please upload all computer training videos here. And again, I'll just drop in another image. You know, again, this is just really for people to easily identify what this is. I'll hit create. And now within here, it's going to take it a second to just populate. So I'll try to refresh it. There we go. Now, again, it's sort of like, like this foldering structure for the group. So our professional development training ones go here, our technical training videos go here. If I had other videos, I would, I could create other channels to put in here. But it's just that structure that you might need. So that way you're not having to filter through hundreds of videos, depending on, what your team, group, or department has. So now you're thinking, well, all right, so we've created the group, we've created the team, etc. How am I going to upload videos? So let's say I wanted to come in here and upload a video into my professional development channel. I have this little 3-dot icon right here at the very bottom. I have edit, delete, share. That's just to share the channel, right? But I'm going to click on the channel to actually go in and add. Do you remember how I told you you can either drag and drop, or you can come to the very top right-hand corner to upload a video. So I'm going to go to the top part here because I need to navigate to where my videos are located at. So we'll come in here, I'll go into my videos. Got a lovely Eastside Access video that I'm just going to dump in there for the time being. It is going to give you a processing bar here to show how much has been uploaded. I can put in a name for this video. So we'll say this is Introduction to Side Access. And please watch this video if you would like to learn more about Eastside Access, right? Again, I'm just keeping it simple for today's purposes. Here I have the ability to upload a thumbnail. So that's what I was talking about with not just creating channels, but videos themselves. I can put in a thumbnail to give it an identifier. Let's say for today, I just wanted to put, again, I'm limited on my pictures here, but I'll put the Moynihan Train Hall one just to get us moving in the right direction. Permissions. So now let's kind of go back into the hierarchy here. I'm in a group. That group I set to be private. I'm in a channel. That channel, I have the ability to add videos. And those videos, I now have the option to essentially say whether or not I want those accessible to the company. So maybe I don't want everything from my group accessible to the company, but maybe this one particular video, I'm like, well, if everybody in the company sees it, it's not the end of the world. It's actually a promotional video for Eastside Access. So that's okay. And I can select this box right here to say, I want to allow everyone in your company to view everyone in the company to view the video. If I didn't want to do that, and again, I only wanted to keep it just to the group or just to very specific people, or even maybe I just wanted 2 team members to see it versus all 4 of my team members, I have the ability to add that information right here and change the permissions of who can see it, sort of when and where type of thing. And then the last feature here is this options. So I'm going to show you this again when we go to actually record a video, but if you're uploading a video, I would encourage you to look at the options because there's a default setting in here for comments. So just like when you go to YouTube and somebody's uploaded a video and you can see where they've either allowed for comments or they've disabled comments, this is the same concept. So if I'm just putting this in for information for my team, I probably don't really care that comments are on the videos because it's not likely I'm going to go back and check the comments, but I would probably just tell them to email me if they need me to fix something in the video. But if I'm publicizing this for the masses, so for example, with MTA University, if I want to publicize videos and then allow people to provide their comments on, hey, could you make another video on this? Or this was really useful in this video. I really appreciated that. I might choose to leave my comments on. For today, I'm going to go ahead and just turn them off because again, it was just a promotional video that I'm uploading. Auto-generate captions. There's another option here where you can essentially add some captions to your videos. I don't necessarily use this piece too much, so this is one of those things where you might need a deeper dive into that, play around with it a little bit. And then subtitles. So you do have the ability that if you had an entire video, or maybe you're uploading a training session, or maybe you're uploading a meeting that your team had or department had, you know, sometimes people don't really speak that loudly. Sometimes you want very specific information to be known if somebody's watching it in a video format. So you can create a subtitle file where it allows you to essentially apply subtitles frame by frame in your video. It does give you a link so you can learn how to do that. That's pretty much a deeper dive that you would need to go into. You could do a 1-hour video just on that. So just suffice it to say it is there and accessible for you. So I'm going to hit publish, and we're going to give it a second. It's a slightly large video. Let's see here, and it says published introduction to Eastside Access. So if I go back into my groups and go back into my channel, I'm just going to scroll down here because I know my group is at the very bottom. Let's see here, test group. Nope, I think I had Lisa's team was what I made this one. There we go. Channels. Those were my channels that I created in my group. I uploaded to my professional development channel, and you'll see right here, it'll tell you how many people are essentially able to have access to this channel or do have access to the channel. And then if there's any videos, that video that I just went to upload, again, it was slightly large. So this little 0 right here, it's not actually 0 right now. Really, the video is just still uploading in the background. So I have to give it a little bit and I could come back here and check, but it would show you that my videos are actually uploaded right here. And just so you can kind of see that sort of full spectrum, I'll go into one of my other groups that I had created earlier when I was testing this out, and I will show you the same type of concept. I also created a professional development training, and I did create a computer-based training channel. And you'll notice here again, there's a 1 icon, and I had uploaded a video. This one just happened to be one of the Metro North videos, but it shows me that I did upload that. And again, anybody who has access to that channel can go in and see all of those videos. So that's really the core of just understanding how to move around, how to navigate. I did tell you that there is a way to discover more content that's out there. You sort of saw that from the homepage earlier. I'm going to go in here to discover channels just to see what's out there. And then I can tell like, oh, look, there's all this useful information out here. I may not necessarily have access to all of it, but I can see in some cases I can request access to join a group that maybe somebody has put out there. A lot of people tend to put out informational type of channels. So you do have the ability to go here. You do see my 2 channels that are out here that I created today. So this test company-wide, that's out there. And then again, I can go in and I told you, you have the ability to discover if there's other groups out there or like my groups maybe that I've created or groups that I might be able to join or become a part of. Notice that these all say public, meaning you could potentially request to join those or to actually just view the information that is out there. So I'm going to come to a pause for a second there. I'm going to look at the chat and just see where I'm caught up to. So Michelle had a question. She says, can anyone in the group delete content within a channel? So that's actually a great question. So remember, there are certain access levels that you have. There's a member, which I kind of view as like more of a read only. There's owners, and yeah, definitely owners could. So for example, if one day I decide, hey, I'm leaving the company and I want to delete this or whatever. Yeah, I mean, is there potential for that? Yes, there is. So I think you just have to be very careful when you go to set up a group, when you go to set up anything, that you understand, who do I really want to list as an owner? Who do I want to list as a member? So just be aware, just like anything that you set up, even with shared folders, you know, you have to be very mindful how you set those up in the system. Any other questions before I move into the next segment of this? Because now we're going to switch gears and kind of go into how to go and use the recording feature. Okay, great. So let me 2 seconds here. So I want to go back and reshare my other screen. Okay. So we tried it out. We saw what it looks like to go in, upload a video, create your groups, create your channels, sort of structure your information, navigate and find other types of information that exist out there today. And now I want to go into the next segment, which is really the crux of using Stream. Because again, most people don't necessarily have access to any other video recording tools, applications, you know, teams that can do it for them type of thing. So we're going to cover how to record, screen capture new content. A few things you need to know before you record. You need to ensure that you have everything, and I mean everything, except what you want to record closed on your computer. This is definitely important if you choose to share just your computer screen versus an application on your computer. So be mindful of that. Obviously, if you have things that are up that are going to pop up reminders like Outlook or Teams or anything that pops up these little reminders, that would get captured in the screen capture, and you may not want that to happen. Maybe you have confidential information there. And then practice. I cannot stress this enough. So if you are definitely going to record, especially using with your voice as well, so you're not necessarily just recording the movements of your mouse on the screen on how to navigate through something, but you're actually talking over that and saying you're going to click here, or you're just doing a presentation and you're using your microphone. I would definitely practice, almost even make yourself a little script, if you will. And the reason why I say that is because the editing capabilities on stream obviously are very remedial, in terms of it's not a full-blown, video recording type of application. It does do that work for us, but it is not, it's not Camtasia. It's not any of these other types of tools that you might have access to, to record. So keep in mind that if you flub up, you may have to re-record all over again, and depending on the length at which you are recording something, that could be very tedious and time consuming. So one, I would encourage when you're starting out with this, just do like a couple little short recordings, 2-minute sessions, get a feel for it before you just start diving right in and recording like, a 30-minute session. That's what I would encourage you to do. When you're ready to record, make sure that you're in a quiet space. I know a lot of us have used Teams over the last several, 2-3 years at this point now. And yes, the microphones on these computers pick up everything. So if somebody's in the background talking, if you work in a cubicle where there's a lot of foot traffic coming in and out of, the space that you work by, all of that's going to get picked up. And obviously you may not want that stuff recorded. So please be mindful that you're in a quiet space when you're going to do this. And then also be sure that if you're going to want to share your camera or not. So some things that you might record, you don't necessarily need to share your camera. If I'm doing a 2-minute video on how to navigate to MS Teams, I don't really have to share the video of myself talking because the focus should be on how to navigate through the system. If I'm doing a meeting, maybe I want to share my camera, or maybe I'm sharing a PowerPoint and my picture so that people can put a face to the name. So there's a lot of options there. When you finish, you do have to remember to click next, and I'll show you what that looks like. Otherwise, it's not going to do anything. If you just close out of your browser, it didn't publish anything. You've lost all your video. So you do need to click next so it walks you through the steps of what do you need to do before you actually publish. And then before you publish, just make sure that you do put a name and a description for the video. You want to be as organized as you possibly can with this, because if you're putting this out there to share institutional knowledge, or you're just putting it out there just to sort of house videos for even your team, department, or group, you want to keep this as organized as possible. So just putting something out there with like a very nondescript name, people may not necessarily know how to go find that, then they're going to have to search for it. So it becomes a bit cumbersome. And then determine who can view your video. Again, we've walked through that you do have options there, whether or not you want them to view the whole, or the whole company can view it, just people within a group can view it, just select people within a group can view it. You do have options to choose. And then of course, there's a secondary thing about update your video details, and we're going to cover that. So I mentioned to you, I can't exactly walk through the steps of recording a video while I'm delivering in another virtual platform. That's not really effective, and it's going to conflict with what my mic picks up. So I did several screenshots to just actually walk you through what you would see if you do choose to go and record a video. And then I'll kind of show you what that looks like as a final product within the Stream homepage. So let's see what that looks like. So if you're going in and you're going to do a recording, you're on your Stream homepage. We've already talked about the navigational steps at the top, the home, discover, my content. You're going to go in and do create. And then the very bottom option says to record screen or video. So there's a little yellow box that pops up at the top. This is sort of the MTA or MTA IT's warning. It's like, hey, this needs to comply with all organizational applicable terms. So don't record things that are not work related. And then that you do have the permissions. You know, if you've got other people, maybe you chose to record a meeting and some people were sharing their video and they're like, oh, I didn't know you were recording and now my face is going to be out there for everybody. Make sure that you have got their agreement that they're okay with that, and that the video doesn't violate any copyright or privacy of anything of anybody else. So again, don't go out to Microsoft's website and literally just record a video that they have and then put it back out here, because clearly people should be going to the Microsoft site, not ours. So again, this is what you're going to see when you go in. You're going to click on create. It's going to pop up a little dialog box that looks exactly like what you see on the screen right now. And a couple of key things to keep in mind. I mentioned earlier this, the camera icon, the microphone icon. You need to know what you're going to actually share, what you're going to actually record. Then you have a drop down to choose whether it's the screen only that you're going to record, if you're going to do screen and camera, or just one or the other. And when you click on that, so I'm going to go one step back. So when you choose the settings you want to choose, you'll see in the middle, there's a little record icon. Looks very familiar, similar to what we see on our phones today when we're recording videos on our phones. When you click that, this is where it gets a bit intimidating, and I feel like it's not always explicitly clear that as soon as I push that button, it's not just going to start recording whatever's on my screen. However, it will actually pop up with a box saying, okay, what is it that we're going to record today? Are you going to record something where you share your entire screen? Again, this is, I have two monitors, so you can see whether it's screen 1 or screen 2. Or do you want to share just a particular window, meaning like an application? So if I really just wanted to capture how to navigate through MTA today, I would just choose the one here on the far right, which is my browser, and it would only record what's there in the browser that I'm displaying on the page or on the screen. Again, like most of the other applications within Microsoft, if you're doing any sharing, if you're going to have something where there's audio in the background, clearly you need to check this share system audio, or it will not record that. You may have to do that once or twice to make sure you have that down to understand what it's trying to record. And after, so let me back up one slide. After you choose whatever it is that you're going to share, so please be mindful of this. Don't just start clicking around here. Once you look at these boxes and you're like, okay, I want to choose the browser. So when I click on that box to choose that I'm sharing MTA today, the next thing that's going to come up is going to be a countdown. And it's going to go 3, 2, 1 with a series of beeps. And then it will go into this recording mode. So you'll see a little notification on the bottom of the screen or the application that you're sharing, and it will indicate that it is recording the screen. So please be mindful of that. Again, if you don't realize that right away, you may have like a 2 to 3 second gap before you're like, oh, and welcome today, or you may have this sort of pause at the very beginning of your video. So just keep that in mind when you're actually going through the process. You can pause in the middle of a video. Again, I don't know that you should be recording videos so long that you have to make a pause in the middle. Maybe that's for other type of company-wide information perhaps, but you do have the option there. And then I did tell you that you have to remember to hit next. That is really critical. So when you go to stop the video, there's no real stop. You'll see that here. It's just pause. That threw me for a loop the first time that I went in here. So you actually need to hit hit next to stop the recording. Once you do that, a screen is going to pop up that'll say review the recording. You see that in the top left of my screen here. And I told you there's a very minimal type of editing here. You can edit out maybe a second or two in the beginning. You can edit out maybe a little bit at the end. You're not splicing things together. You're not editing in the middle of a video if you had an oopsie. So just kind of keep that in mind. That's why I encourage you to do very short segment videos in the beginning, just to make sure, especially if you're like showing how to navigate through a system or how to navigate an application. You can play back the video to just see if what you recorded was okay. If you don't like it, there's a record again button at the bottom. If everything looks good to go, you can just click upload to stream in the bottom right. And now this is where it's going to make you choose, or I'm sorry, not choose, but list certain information. So it says upload to stream. You have to give your video a name. Again, I would encourage you to be as descriptive as possible. You know, make it something that the average person's going to understand when they look at the name of that. Give it a description. Then you have, again, one last time to say, do you want everyone in the company to see this video? And then there's this little link right here that says update video details. So if you click on that, it's going to open up in a new tab, and it's going to look like this. I would encourage every single time that you record a video that you click on that update video details. It is highly unlikely, unless your job is just recording videos, that you're going to remember to go back to this update video details after you've already recorded and published your video. So I would encourage you to look at that in the moment before you publish it. It's showing you what we've seen previously. Put a name, a description, put a thumbnail if you want to, you know, put an image that comes up whenever they see like the list of videos. Permissions, that's just another section, again, like everything else you've seen, where you can identify company-wide, certain people, whole group. And then the options again on the far right, similar to what you saw when I went to go upload an existing video. Do I want comments turned on? Do I need captions? Do I have to upload a subtitle file? But once you look through here and everything looks okay, then you're going to hit publish. When you hit publish, this is what you're going to see. It's going to show up as, again, I say very similar to YouTube, right? Where you have the video here on the left, you see the details such as the name, who published it, is it company-wide, what's the description. Below that, you would see if there's comments, if people want to share your video, if they like your video, all of that is there. You have an option to change your view settings. Again, there's a little bit of stuff you can navigate there. Trending videos, anything that's been either shared with you or that you have access to or that's company-wide will be listed here, kind of like recommended videos on YouTube, right? And there's one last thing that I'm going to highlight here. Again, I sort of briefly touched on it earlier, but we're not going to go into detail today. Up in the top right, you'll see this little tab that says interactivity. That is where you would add things such as a Microsoft form. So if I'm having somebody watch this video and I want to make sure at the end of this video, I'd really like for them to fill out this form so that I can either get feedback right away. You know, maybe for somebody like me, I might want to upload one of our course surveys so they can watch the video and then take the course survey right away. That is an option for you to put that there. We can create, again, more bite-sized segments to deep dive into that, but we're not going to cover that today. I just want you to see that it is there. So again, I had to walk you through screenshots because I can't really record in live time while I'm showing you how to do that in another virtual platform. So I just wanted you to see what that looked like. Final product, just so you can see when you go back into your stream homepage, of course, what you would see if I went into my content, my videos, I'd see a whole list of all videos that I've created. It's just right back into navigating as I was previously that you had seen. You'll notice on the far right, I have some options here if I need to edit, if I want to change permissions, if I want to send it to a group because maybe I just recorded it under my generic homepage, but I actually want to share it with a specific group. There's a whole lot of options that are here that exist. Again, Stream is really a way just to keep our content secure, and it sort of falls under that whole Microsoft umbrella of applications that you have to have a network user ID to log on and utilize. Let me click onto our next page just to make sure. Before I go into this wrap up with the resources, I just want to check the chat one more time. It says, is there a time limit for the length of recordings? Lavelle, you know, I'm actually not sure in terms of what the time limit is. I've seen videos that have been an hour plus long on here. So I'll have to do a little bit more research and see if we do have a time cap that is applied to that. And I'll send that out when I do a follow-up email tomorrow. But thank you for asking. I appreciate it. That's a good question. Any other questions that I can answer for you before I go into our wrap up here? Okay, excellent. Thank you guys. So let me just go to the next slide here. Microsoft, again, they're our partners. They help us understand these tools, and they have boatloads of information that's out there already, bite-sized segment videos. You saw how even from the Stream homepage, you have access to all of their learning information. So I would encourage you to definitely utilize that to learn Stream. If you need to come back and watch this video to see how, again, I try to present it more from the practical application within our own jobs type of perspective. And then we'll have this video posted on our MTA today, I'm sorry, on our MTA University website, maybe in about 2 weeks from now. It takes a little bit of time for them to just do an edit and upload it. Interesting enough, we're still uploading it to YouTube, but Stream is relatively new. At some point, we'll probably transition and all of our videos will be on Stream, which would be great. So other resources, again, MTA Transportation University, or just MTA University as most people know it. You can see any and all upcoming classes, view our training library, which is where the recording of today's session is going to live. You can go back, it'll even have the PowerPoint there if you want to click through the PowerPoint and see more information. And then that's really it that I have for today. So what I'd like for you to do, if you are still able, we have about 6 minutes left here in the session. We do have our QR code for our survey for the course. We're just still getting a sense of whether or not this is a tool people would like to use for Stream. So if there's more information you'd like to know, please let us know in this survey. What I'd ask for you to do is open up your phones, unlock your phone, open your camera. The QR code should come up right away for you to go in. You can complete the survey. Let us know good, bad, indifferent, suggestions for future topics. All of that is welcome and helps us to create and design better classes for all of you, which are our customers. So I've also included our email address on here, MTA University at MTA HQ. If you do ever have any other questions about any of our classes, you're more than welcome to email that email address, and someone will get back to you to let you know.